You know, when we fail, we have always got to find fault with someone else. We always have to make some sort of excuses for our own failures. And obviously, organized religion had failed. Why, I don't think this is saying anything that any person in the world wouldn't readily say, yes, it's true. It has failed because our churches were empty. There was no one there. They were completely empty. Oh, we had billion-dollar structures, but there wasn't anyone there. And above all, in most of them, Jesus Christ wasn't there. Shortly after we started this work, and it began to grow at such an enormous rate of speed that it was almost unbelievable. Our first church was a notorious dope den in the heart of Hollywood that had supplied much of the narcotics to the young people. And we went in and preached the gospel of Jesus Christ, and we turned that dope den into a spirit-filled church. The same young people that had sat there drugged out of their minds were singing songs of He set me free. When the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. Are you washed in the blood? And the place was so packed that you couldn't even get into the door. I knew long before this time that I was ill. I knew that there was something terribly wrong with me. And I knew all along exactly what was wrong. And I kept putting it off, going to a doctor, going for examinations. And then finally, when I did go, when I went in and had the examinations, and I was told that definitely I had terminal cancer. And our problems at that time were great. We had no money, we had no finances. And I knew that it would be an impossibility for Tony to be able to manage that church and me go to a hospital. It would have been an impossibility. He couldn't have done it. So the day that I had the examination, I came out and I sat down in a little room. And as I sat there, I made a decision. And I said, Lord, I promised you a lot of years ago that I would give you my life. And I keep that promise. And I walked out, and Tony said, how is it? What is it? I said, there isn't anything to worry about. And yet they had told me it's so far gone now. So far gone. Get into the hospital immediately. I worked harder than I have ever worked in my life, because I never knew if I would have a tomorrow, if there would be another tomorrow. That church had to be established. It had to be set on a financial basis, because I couldn't leave Tony and the kids like that. And I had to make well and sure that it was completely and absolutely established. And I worked like a 4-star general. I had a bunch of kids that were workers too. And those kids went out and they worked with their hands, and they supported a gospel. There was no church behind us. There was no big finances. It was a group of kids that had been in the gutter, that found the reality of Jesus Christ and went out and went to work at hard labor to finance a ministry that others might be reached before it was everlastingly too late. What or where am I today? As far as medical science is concerned, I should have been dead 3.5 years ago. 3.5 years ago, after an examination, they said that it was through the rib cage, that I possibly had hours to live, maybe a couple of weeks, a month at the longest time. And Tony and all the kids left their jobs, left their witnessing, and they went up to the big 165-acre ranch. They prayed day and night for 7 days and 7 nights. As far as any outward manifestations of healing, there aren't any. I could go to any research laboratory, any doctor in the world today, and he would say, I don't know how it's possible that she is living. How do I feel about the decision that I made? I would do the same thing again all over today, because I believe the gospel that I preach. I believe it's the only reality in this world. I believe I will see the coming of Jesus Christ. But if I don't, if the Lord would take me on, like Job, though he slay me, yet I'll trust him. You know, faith is the substance of things unseen. It isn't anything to believe when there's a miracle healing. It isn't anything to believe when there's plenty of finances, when there are no problems. But faith is work, action. You put that faith to work. And then you look at God. If the Lord took me home tonight, I fought a good fight. A good fight. I feel like Paul, my affliction became my glory because it gave me a drive that was endless. I had to accomplish. There could not be any loose ends. I feel that I have given Satan more trouble than he has been given for the last 2,000 years. We brought the news media from the four corners of the earth to see the long-haired kids with their hands in the air praising the Lord. Whoever heard of pushers throwing their dope into the garbage cans and taking Bibles and preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ? Let me add, if the Lord took me, all is well between me and my God, and I am ready to meet Jesus. I am ready to meet him. I have such faith in this God that I follow, that I preach. He's the same Jesus, remember, that said to Lazarus after he was dead, Lazarus, come forth. This Christ raised the dead before, and I have the faith in him to believe he could do it again. All things are possible. Only believe. The thing that I know is this. I don't know what tomorrow holds, but I know who holds tomorrow. Let his will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That is my prayer to God. No, I wouldn't change a thing, because eternity will never be able to wipe away that which has been established. And if the Lord took me home, the breath wouldn't be out of my body until I would be in the arms of Jesus Christ. And eternity will ring with the voices of young people. Praise the Lord. Because out of that first beginning of that great move back there with the young people was where the actual power and the beginning of the charismatic movement. It moved into the denominational churches. Some of the same police officers that had hassled us in the beginning got saved and filled with the Spirit. Priests were being filled with the Spirit. Denominational people and the power of the living God spread in to churches, to people in every walk of life. I know that there is only one thing that really means anything, whether it's my life or your life. Only what we do for Jesus Christ will ever last. That's the only thing that will ever have any meaning in my life or in your life. So you see, I really do believe this gospel. I believe it unto death. I believe it unto the gates of eternity. I believe that Jesus is coming back to earth again. Why, that isn't any dynamic miracle for God. For heaven's sakes, if man can go to the moon, why can't God come down? To me, it is just as simple as that. Yes, I believe the gospel that I uphold. I believe the gospel that I preach.
You've been watching the Tony and Susan Alamo Show from the Grand Ole Opry House in Nashville, Tennessee.